Welcome to the Debbie and Kim Show.
Real people, real talk. From challenges to wisdom. Conversations that heal, inspire, and empower.
It's a wonderful week. It's a beautiful day. I'm sitting next to this beautiful lady.
Yeah, with your...
Yeah.
I love it.
And your week?
My week has been... It was very busy. From...
Busy, productive?
Very productive, absolutely.
Yes,
Very
yes.
productive. Great connections, great energy events. And it's just been wonderful. And a lot of work on transitioning from the self-love coach to a divorce transition specialist or strategist.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because many of our listeners know you as the self-love coach and holistic guide. So recently you stepped into this new role as a divorce transition specialist. What inspired this evolution?
It is just that. You named it. It's an evolution. You know, I went from a holistic health coach to an emotional healing coach to a self-love coach, and now to a divorce transition strategist.
So you've almost been in like the butterfly. You've been in your cocoon.
I think so.
And now you're starting to come out and find your way, and you're getting ready to spread those wings.
I think that's an apt analogy.
Yeah.
I receive that and own it.
Okay.
Because to me, it's when I think about becoming a divorce transition strategist, it's like, why did it take me all this time to figure that out? But obviously it was a necessary evolution. It was a necessary process.
Mm-hmm.
And just know that, whenever something comes together and you go, man, how come this didn't happen 20 years ago? Or, however long time ago, why didn't I meet you at that, long time ago? It happened exactly the way it was supposed to, because there's little subtle things that we need to experience. Oh, thank you. There are things that we need to experience in order to be the best at that time. It just comes together when it's absolutely supposed to. Take it as that. No doubts, no ifs, no ands, no questions.
So what is a divorce transition strategist? Just give me a definition, a 101 that we all can understand.
Okay, I will. So a divorce transition divorce is a transition, not a failure. That's number one that I want to make clear. It is not a failure. And I believed it was for many years. Okay. So that's something that I've come to appreciate, and maybe the reason why it took me so long.
Could be.
Okay. And then also what we're seeing repeatedly in clients is that the gap between the legal process and the emotional process. A divorce is a very emotional experience. And we need a process. We need to unpack those emotions in a healthy way. And I believe it takes a special kind of person, a special skill set to do that properly. Because truly, a divorce in its truest sense is just the parting of souls. They serve their purpose together, and now it's time for them to separate. And we have to be able to appreciate and accept that, and not take it as a failure. Take it as a learning experience, as a growing experience, because that's what it is.
That's very easy to say.
It is.
It's not easy to do.
It is not easy to do, and that's why I do what I do, because you need help. You're not going to be able to do it by yourself.
Exactly. You're full of anger, you're full of anxiety, you're full of, what did I do wrong? What could have I done better? Why did I choose the person that I chose? So that's a whole ball of confusion,
Exactly.
trying to work through that.
Exactly. And that is what the divorce transition strategist does. That is exactly what I do as a divorce transition strategist is I help you unpack double those feelings and every single one of them is valid.
Well, do you do it with the couple? Do you do it individually? Because I know when I was going through my divorce, I didn't want to look at him.
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't
I
want
do
to
it
look at him. I didn't
individually.
want to be
It's
in
an
the same
individual
room or
process. It's an
anything.
individual process
And then
because
do they come back together?
that's up to them. I don't, that's up to them. I'm working with the individual. And if
Mm,
both individuals want to work with me and if they want, to try to work through whatever those challenges are that brought them to the divorce, I'm open to that. My goal is that each one experience inner peace and happiness because it is there for everyone. And you just need some help getting there. It's in you. It's
it's
possible.
deep
And
in
see, a
you.
lot of people think that
It's deep
a lot
in
of
you.
people think that it's not possible. And that just creates more frustration and more anxiety. And I'm here to tell you it is absolutely possible in everyone if you are willing to do the work.
Yeah.
And the work, the way I do it, it's not difficult because you know what? Well, if I say this, you'll probably not believe me, but
Say
I
it
do it.
anyway.
I do it with love.
Okay, say it anyway, because and it's really in a divorce, it's like you had so much love for this person,
Hmm.
and when it ends or when you're in the process of separating, again, it's like, well, how am I supposed to still love this person but not be with
Yeah,
this person
yeah,
anymore?
yeah. And this is the things that we work through. This is the things that we unpack. And I can't say because it's different, it's unique for everyone. Everyone's situation is unique, but everyone's situation deserves the honor of this work. It is sacred work. I consider it that way. And the thing that just brings me so much joy is that we're able to go from, like you said, these anger, intense feelings to soft, gentle, unconditional self acceptance.
Mhm.
And when we accept ourselves, we accept all of those things in ourselves. And hear me, this is not something you're just going to do. It's like a switch. I take you through a process. Okay. So that's how it happens. It doesn't just, you don't just sit in my chair and I say, okay, change these feelings. No, that's not how it works. There's a process, but it's a worthwhile process. And the outcome is inner peace and happiness and clarity for where you're going now from here and how it's going to be good for you. Because there is a win-win-win solution in every situation. And that is my goal. That is what I seek. And I will continue to seek that in, in every client I work with.
Now, you also, talked about self-love, stability, learning to self-regulate. I think sometimes that's a difficult thing to do, to
Well, that's why
self-regulate.
I teach you how to do it. And that's what the purpose of having coming, coming back for weeks. It's a week, 6 week or so program because it takes time to change habits. These are not only habits and habitual ways of being, they're chemical reactions that are triggered just like that without thought.
Mm,
So it
mm.
takes accountability and weekly follow up to change it, but it's changeable. That's the thing. It is changeable. It does not have to be lifelong. Even if it has been lifelong, it can change.
So what advice, okay, do you give for someone who feels like they can't get over this emotional hurdle?
Yeah.
What is some of
My advice is to schedule a session with me
mm,
because, that's going to get your answers.
Well,
You're going to
can
get
you
your
can
answers.
you kind of give us an example without giving anybody's name, because because
Yeah,
and all that other
yeah,
stuff. An
sure.
example of
Yeah.
how you work with individuals.
So I want to say this too, that, you were saying that the gap between I was saying the gap between the legal divorce and the emotional stabilization it's a bridge from self-love. The everything, all our happiness and contentment and issues are grounded in self-love. In other words, we do not accept ourselves or we do accept ourselves.
So
It's
is that where you start then?
yes.
Getting them to accept, love themselves in order to bridge the gap, or in order to see how things either changed within the relationship?
Actually, we don't have to get unless they want to. They can tell their story and their story is valid, but it's not necessary. We can go with, okay, what is the emotion that you're feeling right now? What is the most disturbing, you know, highest emotion that's causing you the stress and anxiety?
Mhm.
Okay. We're going to start with that one. And we're going to first just take a breath and we're going to see where that is, where in your body it is. Just kind of give it some attention and ask it, what is it here? What is it here to teach me or to tell me? What does it want me to know?
Mhm.
And if that doesn't get us an answer, there's several ways we can go. There are several things that we can do that will connect with that energy and be able to dissolve it. And I have lots of tools in my quiver. So,
Well, tell me, was there a moment, personally or professionally, when you realized divorce required a different kind of support other than what people usually get? And case in point, because I mentioned about mediation divorce, which I'd never heard of before.
yeah.
So I know there's actually two questions in there, but
So first, I want to address the special kind of attention because, as I said, unless a lawyer has that skill set, that they are going to have an issue. Nobody's going to win in that situation. And when I looked at where I had personally experienced success, I've been through two divorces. First one after 21 years, the second one after less than two. And I learned something very profound after the second one, and that was I needed to have a healthy love for myself if I wanted to have a healthy relationship
Mhm.
with anybody. Given that I realized that I had that revelation right at the end of that second one, um, worked on that in
Mhm.
myself. I did the work. This is not something I'm just theory. I have
Mhm.
been there and done that.
Mhm.
I've done the work. I've now been in my marriage currently for 15 years, and I've not been
Congratulations.
happier. Thank you.
That's awesome. You got a
Yeah,
great guy.
I do. I do. And so, you know, I'm. s- I think that that gives me the experience, the credibility to work with people in this very specific, special capacity.
Mhm.
And so, hmm,
How are you? This is almost like a marketing question, but how are you reaching these individuals? I mean, how would, without contacting a lawyer or
so I will be reaching out to divorce lawyers
mhm,
and family lawyers
mhm,
to connect and partner
mhm,
if they're willing. I also am now just now able to put together or present present myself in a way that people actually know what I do. Imagine that. All these years,
Okay.
they don't know what I do.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm able to present myself in a way that they can relate to what I do
Mm.
and appreciate it, and hopefully be able to refer people to me, and that those people who come to me will be happy and refer others to me. And that is the evolution that I'm expecting, the
Mm.
organic growth.
Cool. Cool. You have something very here interesting here where you said there that we want people to come to the realization that they don't need fixing.
Yes, absolutely. I cannot even stress this enough. Many of us, including myself, thought something was wrong with me
Mhm.
fundamentally. There is
Mhm.
something fundamentally wrong with me. I can't uh, have a healthy relationship. And I want you to know there is nothing wrong with you. You are just evolving. You are really in your purpose for being here, and you're forming into who you came here to be. This is all a part of it. And that's the other thing that people realize in working with me, is how these experiences that were so painful actually fit into who they're here to be.
Well, I think, excuse me, going through that whole going through divorce, when you think about sometimes you don't know what you're going through.
Of course. Yeah.
Um, and I know for myself, talking from personal experience, I didn't realize what I was going through or how I was not handling my divorce through pictures of myself.
That's how you realized it,
That's
looking
how I
back at the
read
pictures.
looking back
Hmm.
at the pictures of
Hmm.
myself.
Hmm.
Um, so is that a way maybe you can say bring something like that in front of people to say, look at in the beginning, everything is really nice. So you have all these family pictures, and then all of a sudden that gets less and less and less. And then you look at yourself, and when you used to smile, then you don't smile anymore. And if you know, and instead of being real close, the gap gets further away.
But that only that individual has to come to that.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't point that out to them. That's for them to see and find. And yeah, what I don't want to do is point the finger.
And lead them in.
I want them to bring what they're struggling with to me. I don't want to create more struggle or more
Mhm.
issues for
Yeah,
them.
you're right.
I want them to
Right.
come to me with what is ailing you right now. And then we will go where we need to go.
So, well, how do you get that out of them? What if they don't know? Like I said, for me, I didn't realize I was going through all this. So,
So you
how do
probably
you
weren't
get
ready to
this?
deal with it.
Oh, okay, all right. So then
When people come to me,
yes,
they're ready.
okay,
They're
okay.
ready. It's time.
Mm-hmm.
And if for some reason they start backing out and say no, they got what they need. They need to allow that to process, simmer, germinate until they're ready for the next step.
Well, will there be assignments?
Oh yes. Oh yes. This
will
is
there
work.
be will there be things that we have that I say we? I'm not. I don't mean we.
So it depends.
Clients,
Everyone
customers.
everyone is different. I say, for example, I would ask you, so in your relationship, what's going on right now in this relationship didn't start there. It didn't start there with that person. So, but we're going to go back, and uh, I may ask them to tell me, what things they learn. Most of it, usually we do it right there, because I can take them into the place, the unconscious mind, the
Mm-hmm.
below the conscious, and we can get answers that you wouldn't ordinarily get, that you wouldn't be able to, that aren't going to surface, you know, and they're not going to surface until they need to, until they're ready. And so because I do that and they're with me, it's time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I I get it.
There's a lot of
Think I
things that
get it.
happen below the conscious that are the keys to resolving and growing.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's the work I do.
So what I mentioned, do you think or do you see that as one of the biggest struggles that people face in divorce? Or what is one of the
I think one of the biggest struggles that people face is not wanting to let go of their anger and unforgiveness,
Mhm.
because they don't want to let the person off the hook.
Right.
And we do this to ourselves too. Oh, you don't, maybe you might not say it, but you can't forgive. You like holding on to that unforgiveness like this
Mhm.
and not realizing that the person who is in this feeling that pain is the person who's holding on to the unforgiveness. When you let it go and you forgive, it's so freeing for you and that person, whatever it is that they put out that was negative. It's karma. It's their karma. Let them have it. And you don't have to celebrate. In fact, you could pray for them. You could pray that that they really learned something valuable and they soften from it. But the holding on to that unforgiveness
It's the
is,
biggest.
yeah, people think that I can't let them off the hook. I can't let them get away with. Well, you're holding on to unforgiveness is not going to keep them from getting away with it. They're getting away with it by you holding on to it. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
I think I think for some people that is really hard to do.
this is why the self love and the self compassion is so important. In order for you to have, have that self love and self compassion, you have to go through that process of letting that unforgiveness go, not only for that person, but for
Mhm.
yourself, because really that's where it is. You don't want to forgive yourself for what you allowed them to do to you. And
Mhm.
this is just not the course that you need to be on. The course that you want to be on is, why did that happen?
Mhm.
What what is the gift that it came to bring me? Because that's really why it happened. It didn't happen to hurt you without a very good reason. Yes, it did. It did hurt, but it was a hurt that you needed to experience to have the growth that you're here to to have and to accomplish the things. We're here to transcend these challenges. That's why we have them. Someone shared with me a story, and I'll make it very brief. And the bottom line is they realized that this was the energy that was causing all the problems, all the murders, all the crime, and everything that was happening that was bad was from this energy. So they took that energy and they suppressed it, like in jail. Okay. And so now it's not there. So now it's just bliss, right?
Mhm.
Supposedly. But now nothing's happening. No growth is happening. No real progress. And things are just becoming stagnant. I'm really simplifying this and watering it down. But the point is, we need that friction to grow. We need that friction to evolve and to appreciate what we have and what we have gained. It's a part of the process. It's just like you can't have a day without a night, right? And
Mhm.
you can't grow anything without the sun and the rain and the air and all those things
Right.
that happen.
Right.
It's a process. We want to appreciate the organic process and our relationships beginning and ending. The cycle is part of the process. So we're not broken, we're forming. Everybody's forming into the loving being that they came here to be. And there, I can put it another way. We're not going to grow or be our best without overcoming something, some challenges, right?
Okay, yes.
Okay. So this is just a challenge that we're here to overcome and grow from. And what I do is provide the tools to help you do that. And the tool that I love in my toolbox is love. Unconditional acceptance.
Mm, mm, unconditional acceptance. I was gonna say something and it
It'll come back.
menopause,
It will come back.
it went right out of my head. Um, but do you look at, because sometimes I look at different things that have gone on in my life
Hmm.
and look back at it and say, "Wow, I survived it." So that's I don't know if that's the way people look at divorce, that they survived their divorce, if it was traumatic.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily say it was traumatic, but it was extremely hurtful. And so it's like, "Oh, I survived this, and this is what I've learned from this,
Yeah.
from that whole
I
experience."
do want to address that because there are people who have been divorced for 20, 30, 40 years and may feel that they survived it. But I want to say this to you. There is room. In fact, I work with those people too,
Mm,
because there are still things that they may need to learn and grow from that. Here's how you know. How healthy are your relationships? How many healthy, loving, nurturing relationships do you have in your life? And how is your relationship with yourself? That's the real question. And
mhm.
if that relationship with yourself has not recovered really from that divorce, then see me.
See her. Ask your questions. Tell her what you're feeling. You can be completely open and honest, because a lot of times we're not honest with our
You can be
feelings.
open and honest. I will not allow you to beat yourself up or do anything that you wouldn't do to someone you love.
So I think we also talked about this before. It's the lines of communication. So if you have to communicate what you're feeling, even if you are divorcing someone, you still need to communicate with that person how you're feeling, to get to sometimes to get it out, get it past there, whatever.
Here's the thing that I want to bring out. And I learned this. I actually got this after my first divorce, and I really appreciate it. It's not mine. I'm sharing it. I think his name is Don Luis Miguel. I can be wrong.
Mm.
You know who I'm talking about? Okay. The four agreements. We
Oh,
talked about
yes,
this
yes,
before, but they're golden. The first one is to let what comes from you be impeccable.
mm,
Now, is it always going to be impeccable? Of course not. Of course not. But it's yours to own and not beat yourself up, not blame yourself, but just take responsibility for it. Okay. Number two is to what other people think, say, and do, not your business. So what they think about you is not your business. And guess what? What they think about you is more to say about themselves than it does you. So when you're telling people how you feel, first of all, no one else is responsible for your feelings but you. Those are your feelings. And so if you expect somebody to do something about them, that would go back to you. Whenever we're pointing the finger at somebody, there's three pointing back at us. So that means that we're the ones
eh,
who are
yeah,
responsible for
yeah,
taking care of that. That's our business. If it comes from us, it's about us. And the buck stops here. We can take care of it with love.
mm,
So, so what other people are thinking, saying, and doing, even the compliment. Oh, that's a beautiful blouse. I love that. That's still saying that they like your taste. They're reflecting from themselves onto you, which is fine. But it works the other way too. When they tell you what they don't like about you and what you, blah, 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 that's them. They're reflecting what's in them onto you. The number three, don't make assumptions. And are we going to make assumptions?
Of course,
Absolutely, we're going to make
absolutely,
assumptions. But
always.
again, we take responsibility for that because we were the ones who made the assumption, right?
Right.
Yeah, it didn't go the way we assumed it was going to go, or it wasn't what we assumed. Well, we can't blame anybody for that. And nobody needs to blame. We don't even need to blame ourselves. Just accept that, I was the one that made the assumption. And so, if it didn't go with this is what I appreciate and how I believe that I was able to really appreciate these four agreements with this other belief, and that is that everything happens exactly the way it is supposed to for the highest good of everyone involved.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
And then the fourth agreement is that to always do your best and appreciate that that's always changing. It's always going to be different. Our best is the best that we could do considering all the things that were factored into that moment and that time, that situation.
well, before we close, I have one last question. How does the work that you're switching to this divorce transition strategist
Hmm.
differ from your traditional coaching and therapy?
It really isn't different. It's the difference is it's more focused. It's more focused on what this person needs right now. For example, I know that a person going through a divorce has a lot of stressors going on. Things that are important that need to be addressed. And so we need clarity. We need calm. We need stability to be able to sort those things out. What's going to be best for me? And so you need clarity. These are the important components that need to be addressed. And I have curated a process to make that happen, to allow that to happen. Yeah. And so that's the difference. The difference is before it was whatever that person needed. Well, this one, I kind of know what they need.
Mm, mhm.
So I'm going to help them to get to where they need to go. And I have special skill set to be able to help them to do that. Yeah.
Well, I know that you'll be very successful with this. I
Thank you.
know, I
Thank you.
know.
Thank you. Yeah.
I guess that's our time for today.
For today, I just want to say this. There is nothing wrong with you. Even if the person said, that you're this and you're that, and again, consider the source, okay?
It's not your business.
But here's the thing, too, I want you to know your reaction to what they're saying says that's the one you want to hear, you want to pay attention to. But just know you can reach out to someone who understands, who cares about you, who wants to help you to provide a safe space to have your feelings, to hash out whatever things you're challenged with or that are on your mind, on your heart. You want to uh, have a place where you can have your feelings and everything is okay. You didn't do anything wrong, and you can understand what you need to own and what you need to let go of, what you don't need to own. Have clarity and have a plan calmly, peacefully with that inner peace. So that's what you would love to have. That's what I have curated a new program specifically for. Uh, yep, to help you regulate your emotions and give that accountability to uh, find peace and happiness. Happiness is something that many people find fleeting, and this particular population, uh, I think, has been largely underserved.
And,
So
exactly.
thank you
Exactly.
for the opportunity to share that with
And
the world.
if you want to get in touch with Kim, yeah, the information will be in our notes.
It'll be in our notes, but just in
As
case you're
but
getting a
also,
short,
uh-huh.
you can either call 602-688-2632, or you can go to heartjoynow.com.
Oh.
Heartjoynow.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, this has been extremely enlightening. I have a wonderful partner that I'm working with, and
See how that reflection on each other? I love it.
I enjoy being with her every week.
And I as well.
Yes. So
We
I
are
like
meant to be
that together.
podcast
Yes.
partners.
Yes.
And friends, of course.
Yes. So I want to say thank you
Thank you.
for tuning in to the Debbie and Kim show.
And remember, you are perfect for your purpose for being here now. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.
We love hearing from you. Until next week, have a good one.
Yes. Bye for now. Next week, we're going to have a special guest, Tamiko Drummond. She's the author of Grace, Grief, 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 Grace, and Giggles. I think it's it's Grief, Grace, and Giggles. No, it's Giggle. It's one of those. It's bad. I'll have it on there.
Tune in and we'll have
had
the correct name and title of the book.
I had it. I knew it. I mean, I know it, but oh well. Okay.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.